All right, well, today is Friday, September 19th, and I was originally scheduled to be in North Carolina right now, but I'm not in North Carolina. I'm still in San Diego. And tomorrow, I was supposed to be running a 50-mile trail race with one of my good friends from college. But obviously, that's not happening because I'm here. And the reason it's not happening is because I sprained my ankle like a week ago on one of my last runs while I was trail running up in the mountains. Stepped on a rock, rolled my ankle, instantly knew like it wasn't good, was in a lot of pain, and was also just like pretty emotionally frustrated because I knew what had just happened. And on top of that, like I was still 2 miles up the mountain, so I still had to make it another 2 miles back down with a sprained ankle, in a lot of pain, frustrated, pissed off, knowing that I wasn't going to probably race in a week. And so like in the shock and like the heat of the moment, like I was shocked. I'm like, okay, I can't do this. A lot of pain. As the days went on, like the pain started to subside. I started to get a little bit more mobility in my ankle. Because like at first, the first day, I couldn't really put much pressure on it. I couldn't really walk. I could walk just very slowly, and not very big strides. The next day was much better. I believe I went and saw a PT the next day. If not, it was 2 days later. And he did some work on it, definitely helped a lot. One of the things that helped the most was this red light panel. Is this going to turn on? Whoa! I was like not a full believer in red light until I started using that, and the change that I felt in my ankle was actually insane. So, red light's not woo woo. It definitely helps a ton. But each day my ankle started to get better and better. And the forward and back movement was fine. What still is very tight is the lateral movement, like anything left and right, which obviously for trail running, you're not on stable footing the entire time. You're constantly stepping on rocks and dirt and different angles and whatnot. So it was really tough for me because I started to toy with the idea. Like I kept all my flights. I'm still registered for the race. I'm like, okay, maybe I can still do this. Well, doing 50 miles alone, just like as its own when you're healthy, is extremely tough. Doing it when you're injured with one bad ankle is even tougher. And I was kind of worried because once you have a sprained ankle, it's that much easier to sprain the ankle again. And I didn't want that to happen. So I just started going through this like mental challenge that I've been chewing on the last couple of days, thinking about should I do this, should I not, like what's the best approach. And ultimately what I started thinking about is I was like, okay, I've been training for months for this race. I care about this a lot. I'm running it with one of my friends. It's a big challenge for me this year to see if I can go run 50 miles. And on top of that too, I'm doing another challenge in like a month. It's a 4x4x48 challenge. So 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours for a total of 48 miles. I'm doing it with my brother-in-law, and I kept on telling him, I'm like, dude, honestly, like, I think this might be harder than the 50-mile race because the 50-mile race is just a straight shot. You don't really stop for like a prolonged period of time, and it's like 12 hours and then you're done. With this, you run for an hour, break for 3 hours, run for an hour, break for 3 hours. So like your body's building up a lot of lactic acid. You start to get sleep deprived because you can never get more than 3 hours of sleep. And it's not very good sleep if you're just waking up and running. Your body's going to have a lot of cortisol, a lot of just like adrenaline. So I'm like, dude, it's going to be interesting. I can be able to compare them literally apples to apples because I'm going to be running them a couple weeks apart from each other. And so now I'm not doing that. So I'm kind of pissed because I can't actually see which one's harder, at least for now. I'm going to have to wait a little bit. But what got me thinking is I was like, okay, I'm worried about running this race. I'm worried about injuring myself. But I also don't want to feel like I'm backing down from this because I said I was going to go run this race. Like, technically, in a world, I could go run it. Like, I'm not healthy. It's not the way that I would want to go run the race. And I'm potentially going to, get more injured. And there's a cutoff for the race. So I might not even make the cutoff. I might get a DNF and I might get pulled off the course. I don't know exactly how it works. So all these thoughts are going through my mind. And ultimately, I made the decision. I canceled my flights yesterday and made the decision to not run the race. And the main reason was because runners have this like notorious habit for whenever they get injured, they don't ever fully heal the injury, and they keep on running and like prolong the healing process of the injury and then potentially get another injury. And so this wasn't like my end all be all. Like once this race was done, I had nothing else planned. I have that, 4x4x48 challenge in like 4 weeks. I have the Honolulu Marathon in like 3 or 4 months, whenever in December. And then I'm going to be doing other stuff to start next year. Plus, like, I like to train. I like to do other stuff for fun. And the way I was thinking about it was, is this short-term pain worth the potential long-term benefit that I'm going to get from being able to say I ran 50 miles and I did it on a bad ankle and I pushed through the pain, and that's if I was to finish. And the reason I say if is because if I didn't miss the cutoff time, I don't think I would quit, like unless I sprained it again and couldn't run it. If everything was the way that it is now and I could run on it, which I haven't even tried to run, I'm like too scared to push it right now, especially again like laterally. I don't know. It would eat me. It would eat at me, because then if I injured myself again, then I'd prolong my training. I might not be able to do the 4x4x48. It might mess with my Honolulu Marathon, and it might just like prevent or create another injury for myself. And to me, like that just wasn't worth the cost. So it was very difficult for me to make the decision to have to pull out of the race, cancel my flights, tell my friend that I wasn't going to be able to run the race with him, because we had been planning on doing this together for the last like 4 months or however long we've been since we signed up. And we'd go on trail runs, we'd call each other, we'd see how we were doing. When I was in Utah, we met up and we did a couple of trail runs together. So it was a very like collaborative experience, if that's the right word. I think you guys get what I mean. And I feel bad for him because now he's running the race by himself. He was mentally preparing to, run it with me by his side the whole time. And now he's got to do it by himself. So I'm sure he's still going to have a great time. There's going to be a lot of lessons he learns, and he'll have a lot of time to himself to think through some stuff and battle his own demons and whatnot. But I'm just disappointed too, because it was going to be such a fun experience and great memory that I knew I would look back on for years, like the rest of my life, honestly. It's not often that you run a 50-mile race, and if I ran more, you definitely never forget the first time you ran it. So I'll never forget my first marathon. I'll say one thing that is cool is that in preparation for this, I ran my first ultra marathon. So it was cool to run the furthest I'd ever ran, and that was at Burning Man. I ran 30. It was a 50K, so 31.1 miles. And then like the next 4 days after that, I was raving and partying and having a great ass time, all on my feet, was totally fine. So that gave me a lot of confidence in my ability to go run this 50-miler. And to just like kind of expand my capacity for my potential and what my body's capable of doing. I think it's important to push yourself and, like do things that challenge you, because we have these ideas of what we think is possible until we go out and do something that we thought was impossible previously. And that's one of the things I really like about running, especially as you get into longer distances. Like, it just becomes this mental battle of what you think is possible, but you keep on putting one foot in front of the other, and you keep on going, and you keep on just like shattering those earlier thoughts that you had about what was possible, about how fast you could go, about how far you could go. And you learn how important like your mentality is and the things that you tell yourself, because this is really operating the system. Like, this is going to push so much further than, or like your body will respond to what your brain says. And whatever you focus on expands. So if you keep on focusing on how tired you are, how much pain you are, that's only going to continue to grow inside your mind. But if you just think about the next step, the next point, the next mile, whatever it is, and you just get to that point, and then after that, you focus on the next point, it seems to get a little bit easier, right? Rather than focusing on all the pain or whatever you're experiencing. And that's why it's kind of fun to run with somebody else too, because you can just talk with them and get your mind off of what your body's feeling. So that's that. I've been like tussling with this idea in my mind of what I should do, if I should still go, if it's the right decision to not go. And so I kind of wanted to get on here and share with you guys these thoughts that I'm having, because I feel like sometimes it might seem like such easy decisions to make in the moment for other people, but I just wanted to like let you guys in on what's going on through my head, how I feel mentally, because I like to be a man of my word. I like to do the things that I said I was going to do. And it's not that I'm just like pulling out or like I'm quitting on this. I'm still going to go run 50 miles. It's just a matter of when. So it's going to be a goal for me next year. I don't know if it's going to be the exact same race, but I want to do a 50-mile race. I think it's a great challenge. I think it's just far enough where it's like going to really push you, but it's not a 100-mile. It's not like running for 24 miles where it's going to completely consume my life in terms of training. So it is something that I actually really look forward to, and I'm pretty bummed that I'm not going to be able to do it soon. The 4x4x48, that's 48 miles in 2 days. I think I'm going to just add on 2 miles to say I did 50 miles in 2 days. But again, that's not the same as going out and running a 50-mile race with 8,000 feet of vert or whatever it is. So, yeah, I think in part of this process and part of like putting my goals out there on social media and like making all this public, there's also a pressure that I feel to go out and actually do all the stuff. And so when I say I'm going to go run a 50-mile race and then I don't do it, I feel like there's people that are doubting or questioning why I'm not doing it or what happened or all of these things. And at the end of the day, like, it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. Like, I got to live with myself. I know why I'm not doing it. I am fully confident with my decision. And yeah, just like feel the need to not to explain myself. This has nothing to do with justifying why I'm not going. It's just to explain to you guys what's going on in my head, and hopefully, again, just like makes it more relatable that I'm human. I go through similar thoughts and feelings and emotions, and not everything's black and white. Like, it can be kind of hard to make a decision about what you should do. And so, yeah, I think having goals is really important. Risking failure, making your goals public, putting it out there, having some form of accountability from other people. It's scary, but it definitely helps push you. And that's one thing I'm really grateful for with social media about making my goals more public is there's a lot more pressure to do it. And I actually like that. I perform well under pressure. And so maybe that's why this like was eating at me a little bit more as to if I should do it or not. And if I should go potentially risk another injury to finish this, which then could set back everything else. So I already went through all of my thoughts with it. But I guess where I'm at is I'm extremely grateful for my health. It's only made me more grateful for my health. And I want to continue to maintain my flexibility so that I can reduce my risk of injury, because I love working out. I love challenging myself. I love pushing myself. And I think if more people push themselves, like, they would just have a better overall life experience. So that's that. I'm looking forward to my next challenge, which is the 4x4x48. I might make a YouTube video when I do that. I might just make a reel. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely document it in some way. And then got the Honolulu Marathon coming up as well. So don't know what my goal exactly is going to be for that marathon, but I'm extremely excited to go run it with a bunch of friends. Should be one of the more beautiful marathons I've ever ran. And I'm just excited to go to Hawaii again. So that's that. Hope you guys appreciate the update, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.